Start. Okay. Hello students, today we are going to discuss two main concepts regarding the regarding centralization and decentralization, right? 1 minute, please wait. Yes. So here, what is centralization? What is centralization, right? And what is decentralization? They are actually authority, manner of authority, how they are delivered, right? As far as authority is concerned, it is a command. It is command which flows from top to bottom of an organization, right? So here what? How much amount of authority is flowing from top to bottom? Is authority is primarily centralized or authority is decentralized, right? Let's see. Here. So here centralization means authority flows from the top to bottom and maximum and major authorities lie at the top, right? Top of the organization, right? Centralization. For example, if we see the administrative pattern of Russia simply, or China, and some Latin countries like Venezuela, right? Venezuela, etc. Here, maximum authorities are concentrated at the top of the organization, right? So, in these countries, the administrative pattern is centralized in nature. On the other hand, if we are talking about the position of India, here we have seen that here we have three types of authorities flowing from center to state and UTs. Central to states as well as UTs. Then further it percolates up to the Panchayati Raj institutions, etc. So here amount of authority flows from top to bottom. Major functions are dealt with the central government. That means what? And minor and minimum, we can say medium level authority flows from the state to Panchayati Raj institutions. So this is a type of decentralization, right? Further, here Henry Fayol says that everything that goes to increase the importance of subordinates' role is decentralization. Everything which goes to decrease it is centralization. That means what? Let's see and know the its interpretation. Suppose what it says, according to Fayol, if your superior gives more importance to his subordinates, that means if he has certain rights, suppose 100, this is the 100 rights, so we can simply say authority, suppose, and he gives maximum, suppose 80 authority to the subordinates, and further again next level subordinates have suppose around 60 to 65 authorities. So what? Here we are saying that superior has major authorities while subordinates has minor authorities. That means important authorities lies at the top. Then this flows, this decreases, increases further. For example, let's see. Suppose here your top management is, it has 100 authorities. Suppose, and he delegates next level. Suppose here middle level authority, middle level management. We can simply say management. Either bottom at lower level. So he delegates suppose 80 to 85 authority to the middle level, and further he delegates 60 to 65 authority to the lower level. That means what? Here authority at the top level is less, but the nature of this particular authority is what? Important nature. For example, planning type authority, right? Policy making, etc. Major decision making process, decision making events are taking place at the top level, and minor level. So here actually he has only we can simply say 20 authority. Here we can simply say again 20 authority, and rest lies with your lower level authority. That means your concentration of authority flows from top to bottom. That means at the bottom level the authority is very much high in nature, right? For example, let's see here. Suppose Panchayati Raj institution is there, right? Here suppose as far as developmental work is concerned, who is taking more this type of functions? Here Panchayati Raj institution is there, Panchayati Raj institutions. Here state level institutions, right? And here your center, right? So maximum developmental work has been dealt by the Panchayati Raj institutions, right? Actually they are formulated by the center as well as state, but primarily they are dealt with Panchayati Raj institutions. So as far as implementation is concerned, Panchayati Raj institution has simply say have huge role, right? So here authority is maximum, right? So this type of authority is decentralization. Again, he says if your superior, suppose your superior has maximum authority, that means what? Suppose the case is this. Suppose case is this, right? This is center, this is states, and this is Panchayati Raj institutions, right? Suppose center has 100 authorities of authorities, right? Further, suppose it gives 30 authorities of authorities to the states, and next level again 10 authorities are given to the Panchayati Raj institution. That means what? Maximum work is done by the central government, then state government, then the Panchayati Raj institutions. That means what? If we are going to talk about implementation of work, maximum work is done by central government, suppose, then state government, then Panchayati Raj institutions, right? So this is what? This is known as centralization. That means when superior is important, the nature of authority is centralized. When subordinate is important, the nature of authority is decentralized. This is the meaning actually what he wanted to say, right? So let's again move. Suppose here meaning of the decentralization, which I have earlier told you that maximum when a subordinate is given importance, then the authority would become decentralized, right? Suppose these are the some terms which are very much interchangeably used. They are centralization, devolution, delegation, and decentralization. Let's see. Actually, deconcentration means what? Deconcentration means delegation, right? Same things, but where they are used permanently. Actually, these are used in administrative affairs. That means what? When we are going to talk about government, when we are going to talk about central government, right? Administrative work at various departments, various corporations, etc. For example, when we are talking about working of defense ministry, right? Defense ministry. That means what? All the administrative work of defense ministry is known as deconcentration of the authority. Again, here devolution. What do you mean by the devolution? Devolution means legal authority. Devolution, right? Devolution. Legal ramifications. That means if authority is given to you through particular act, for example, Panchayati Raj institutions is given. Panchayati Raj institutions given the recognition by the 73rd and 74th amendment of the Constitution. That means what? They are given the status through the constitutional amendments. That means they have legality, right? If you are given the authority with legality, then it becomes devolution, right? Similarly, again, delegation. Delegation means administrative affairs. For example, suppose there is RTI Act, Right to Information Act. Right? This is the reference. And having, suppose that RTI is a reference and particular administration means Center Information Commission, right, has intentionally make particular procedures, make particular rules, regulations through his own whims, right? So this would become what? Delegation of administrative delegation, right? It is actually derived from the act, not directly but indirectly, right? So this is delegation. Further, decentralization. Actually, decentralization is bigger concept, right? Like this, let's see. Suppose this is your decentralization, right? Decentralization, because it has political elements, it has legal elements, it has administrative elements, right? So this is what? Superset of the authority as far as your deconcentration is concerned, as far as your devolution is concerned, as far as your delegation is concerned, right? So these are the basic differences between them, right? So move ahead. Here, what types of decentralization are? Let's see one by one them. Suppose which type of here primarily 4 types of decentralization are. One is administrative decentralization, second one is functional decentralization, third one is political decentralization, and fourth one is geographical decentralization. Right? As far as administrative decentralization concerned, from authority flows from top to bottom, right? Top to bottom. Suppose as far as a particular school is concerned, suppose school is concerned, school, right? Here principal orders vice principal. So is the case with headmaster and up to primary teacher. Suppose. So what? Here we are. Here principal is executive. Main function is executive management of the institute. Then he primarily gives most of the functions to the vice principal. So is the case with the next levels, headmaster and primary level teachers. Here most of the work is done by the primary teacher. So here what? This type of decentralization authority flows from the top to bottom. Suppose here 100 out of 100 works, suppose 10 work is completed by the principal. Next level again 10 work, again 10, and most of the work is done by the primary teacher. So what? Here this particular devolution actually is within the particular department. So this type of authority is known as administrative authority, right? Administrative decentralization. Suppose if government of India is there, there is huge work, suppose in health system, in education system, in military system, in foreign affairs, suppose. So what? These are the specialized work done by the government of India. So here again, as far as health is concerned or home department is concerned, here particular organization again is to be built, right? So when decentralization is based on the work, on the function, it would be known as functional decentralization, right? Within this, suppose here secretary is there, then next additional secretary is there. I am talking about here home department, suppose, and up to the last is constable. So this is if authority is decentralized from top to bottom, right? Then is administrative. But when we are talking about government of India is concerned, it has huge work, and this particular task is subdivided. Then it would become what? It would be known as your functional decentralization, right? Next level is political decentralization. As far as India is concerned, here we have seen that central government, state government and UTs, then Panchayati Raj institutions. That means your authority is decentralized politically, right? In political hierarchy of the government of India, right? Then next level is geographical. What is geographical decentralization? Suppose headquarters is there. Suppose headquarters, right? As far as India is concerned and central government is concerned, actually, central government is concerned. So what? Headquarters is where? Government of India, New Delhi. And field office, village level, right? So what? If we are going to discuss this thing, geographical, that means headquarter to field. The relation between field officers with respect to headquarters. So here authority lies authority, such type of decentralization would be known as geographical. Implementing agencies are basically existed at the root level, while policy making agencies are basically existed at the center, right? So here authority flow geographically, right? From geographically, for example, secretariat to field work. So this is known as decentralized geographical decentralization. So here 4 types of decentralizations are: first one is administrative, second one is functional, third one is political, and fourth one is geographical, right? As far as administrative is concerned, yes, within particular organization, if authority decentralized from top to bottom, right, it is known as administrative decentralization. When authorities are functionally divided, for example, health division, for example, home division, defense division, right, external affairs division, it would become functional decentralization. When decentralization is based on political motives, right, political reasons, right, then it would be known as political decentralization. Again, if authorities flows is divided, if authority is based on geographical in nature. For example, suppose it is existed at the headquarter level as well, then it is also existed at the field level. So here geography is at the field level. That means your bottom implementing agency is Panchayati Raj institutions. So it is implemented by the Panchayati Raj institutions. So it is field agency, right? And policy formulation is done by the central government at the headquarter level, at the secretariat level, at the capital level. So it would be known as headquarter, right? So 4 types of decentralization are. Next, let's see degree of decentralization, right? Right. 1 minute. Right. Degree. That means how much decentralization is, right, at the top level, bottom level, etc. Let's see. If suppose here 2 types of organization, organization 1 and here organization 2, right, organization 2. Suppose here is a superior, here is subordinates, right. Let's see again here. Here is superior, here is subordinates. Suppose here is 100 authorities. Out of 100, here 30 is done by 30 is implemented by the superior. Rest 70 would be implemented by the subordinate. Let's see in case 1. Suppose here also 100 authorities lie. Out of 100, 10 is are taken care of by the superior. Rest 90 is implemented by the subordinates. So here they see degree of the decentralization. Where is more decentralization? Please tell me. Here, in case 1, here decentralization is more, or here decentralization is. That means what? Is D1 is greater than D2, or is D2 is greater than D1, right? So here we are seeing here superior has 10 functions or 10 authorities, while subordinates has 19 authorities, right? So we can simply say that subordinates is more important here. Here, as far as case 1 is concerned, here subordinates have 70 authority out of 100, and superior has 30 authorities. That means what? We can simply say that here D1, here more decentralization is there as far as case 2 is concerned. So we can simply say if superior is becoming more and more important, then this particular degree of decentralization would be more, right? Next level. So first point is this: if your more subordinates have more authorities, that means this particular decentralization is more, right? Next level, more important functions. Again, let's see. If your superior has less important work and more functions are done by your subordinates, that means what? Let's see. If major functions are given to the subordinates, for example, defense functions, for example, health functions, etc. That means what? If major functions are also given to the subordinates, then we can simply say, can we say there is more decentralization or not? If suppose if in a particular organization, suppose here is 10 functions, superior is there, important functions, health, education, defense, foreign affairs, suppose that, right? And subordinates has given out of these important functions 1, 2, 3, suppose health, education and defense to the subordinates. Then can we say this particular organization has certain degree of decentralization? That means if your superior delegates important functions to the subordinates, then this type of organization must have more decentralization, right? Again, third one, decentralization is greater when no check at all. That means what? If particular organization have minimum, organizations have minimum interference by the superior, that means let them do their business. Freedom, more freedom. So in this organization, in these type of organizations, there would be more decentralization. That means freedom. अगर आपको ज़्यादा freedom दी जाती है तो आप ज़्यादा decision ले पाते हैं, right? Again, fourth one is multiple types of decisions, right? That means what? Suppose in hierarchy, I am going to tell you. Sorry, what happened? One minute. Please, 1 minute, please wait.